City Council meeting to order. Would you please rise and join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Coos Bay City Council meeting for June 15th. The first item on the agenda is public comments, and this is the time for someone to come forward and make comments to the council that is not an agenda item. And you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. Please step to the podium, state your name and where you reside, and the city attorney is our timekeeper. And I have one name on the roster. Scott Fraser wants to speak.
It's kind of an agenda item. You want me to wait?
Sure. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. The next item is the consent calendar. Council?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is the presentation of retirement plaque to Michael Booth from the police department. And who is handling this one?
That'd be me, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President, Council, staff. Tonight has obviously been a special night for us. We've seen our new chief come in and Gary retire as our chief. But the specialness does not stop there. We also have a very extremely valuable and important member of our department that is hanging it up. Michael Booth is our disabled parking enforcement officer, and he's served us since 2015, and he has dedicated countless hours. In fact, I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 2,000 hours that he's given to the city. It's quite impressive, and he's very special to us. You'll see that the Coos Bay Police Officers Association is here as well. The work that he does is invaluable, not only ensuring that our disabled have parking spaces when they need it, but also going out and helping us with abandoned vehicles and just other issues that we've dealt with. And 0025 has been just a special friend also. He comes in and we chit-chat a little bit. And so I would like to take this opportunity to present this plaque to Mike. It says, "In grateful appreciation to Michael Booth for your years of invaluable volunteer service and contributions to the community of Coos Bay and the Coos Bay Police Department, October 2015 to June 2021. Mike, if you'd come up, please.
Which is, I think, one of the best ever.
Well, thanks, buddy.
All right.
The Coos Bay Police Officers Association has something for you as well.
Okay.
We'll make it quick. On behalf of the Coos Bay Police Officers Association, one of our fellow members made this for you in appreciation of your gift of your
Thank you, Michael, for those thankless hours, I'm sure. You probably got yelled at for a lot of tickets you wrote. But many moons ago, when I was in law enforcement, my sheriff used to say, you know, you could arrest somebody for murder and they wouldn't get as mad as if you wrote them a ticket. People don't like to get tickets. But thank you for the enforcement. It's something that is necessary and needed, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is recognition of service on the Library Board of Trustees.
I'm here, but I can't see anyone.
Who's, oh, there we go, Sammy.
That's Steve Metz, yeah.
We can see you, Steve.
Oh, well, good. I can't see you, but that's okay, I guess.
Tonight, I'd just like to recognize the service of two members of the Library Board of Trustees, Steve Metz and Kathy Erickson. Kathy served from June 2013 to June of 2021, and Steve Metz served from June of 2017 to 2021. I'd really like to thank them for all their hard work. These people willingly went through hours worth of policies and other things that they did not get paid for. So, and I'd just like to, I will send this to you, Steve, but I have a plaque here for you presented to Steve Metz in appreciation for your service on the Board of Trustees for the Coos Bay Public Library, June 2017 to June 2021. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you for your service, especially now the library has a lot of decisions to be made.
Well, I'd like to say I'm continuing on the foundation. It was just at this point I didn't want to apply for another 4-year term. I may apply in the future, but the 4-year commitment was an issue for me at this point. But I'm on the foundation, and I hope all of you will support our attempts the way the mayor and the city council and all of the folks who love the library are going to be doing. So I'm hoping we get a new library in due course, and that it's sooner than later. So thanks for the award. Much appreciated.
And we thank you for your service and your continued service. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of Pride Month proclamation, and I think Nicole is handling this.
I am, yes, thank you. So I'll just read the proclamation. Whereas the month of June was designated Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall Inn incident, which occurred in June 1969, and is generally recognized as the catalyst of the LGBTQ+ rights movement. And whereas every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to equal protection and benefit of the law without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, and mental or physical disability. And whereas the long and ongoing struggle of the LGBTQ+ community for basic civil and human rights continues to provide inspiration to all. And whereas the Coos Bay celebrates the history and diversity of our city's LGBTQ+ community and promotes a society in which all residents can live free from discrimination. And whereas Pride Month is an opportunity to celebrate this harmony in which we coexist. And
Now therefore, I, Phil Marler, Council President, on behalf of Joe Benetti, Mayor of the City of Coos Bay, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2021 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the City of Coos Bay, and encourage everyone to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists, respect the rights of all people, and to celebrate the great diversity of our city. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval, I'm sorry.
We need a motion to approve the resolution.
Oh, can we have a motion to approve the proclamation?
I move we approve the proclamation designating June 2021 as Pride Month.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the proclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 7, approval of the 2021 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement with the state of Oregon for the Regional Hazardous Materials Emergency Response Team. And I assume that's, Chief, you going to take care of that?
Yep, thank you. So the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office has agreements with 13 different agencies strategically located around the state for the provision of regional hazardous materials emergency response services. The City of Coos Bay has been the primary agency for hazardous materials response on the South Coast since the formation of the regional team program in 1993. The Coos Bay Hazmat Team's primary response area extends from Florence to the California border and east to Scottsburg on Highway 38 and to Bridge on Highway 42. In the agreement, the state of Oregon provides the equipment and training, and the city provides the team staffing. As a side note, it was 2006 the last time the state replaced the equipment or the vehicles. This year, they've replaced the vehicles for the city of Coos Bay. One of the trucks is here and in service. It will be available after the meeting if anybody would like to look at it. The second and smaller truck is to be delivered later at the end of this month. So we significantly benefit from this agreement in that we get vital equipment on the South Coast for hazardous materials response. This particular agreement has been reviewed by the staff and the city attorney, and other than some minor language and formatting changes, the proposed agreement is similar to the last agreed upon intergovernmental agreement. Therefore, if it pleases the City Council, approve the 2021-23 intergovernmental agreement with the State of Oregon for the Regional Hazardous Materials Emergency Response Team.
Anyone have any questions? Comments? Council?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021-2023 intergovernmental agreement with the State of Oregon for the Regional Hazardous Materials Emergency Response Team.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded. I will call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And Chief, thank you for all the staff that train and volunteer, basically. I mean, it's an outside responsibility, but we appreciate that. And for you to make them available from Florence all the way to the California border to take care of these things. Thank you for that service.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 8, consideration to approve the construction contract change order for Safe Routes to School project. And who's handling it?
I've got
Jim?
this one,
You
thank
got
you.
this one?
Good evening. The city of Coos Bay and the Coos Bay School District and the Oregon Department of Transportation partnered on a Safe Routes to School project in the east side to provide safer pedestrian access to and from the Milliscoma School. Improvements included not only the sidewalks, but ADA ramps, storm infrastructure, some marked crosswalks, and rapid flash beacons. The city applied for and was awarded a $2 million Safe Routes to School grant from ODOT to help fund the project, and Civil West Engineering was obtained to provide the design plans and project construction oversight. The construction contract in the amount of $2,925,738 was awarded by the council to the low bidder, Knife River Materials, back in March of 2020. Over the course of the project, there were several change orders. The initial change order was for a deduction due to revised retaining wall design. Additional change orders followed that included further deduction as well as increases. The overage amounts can mostly easily be explained as being due to a couple of change orders processed during the project. These two could not be calculated in advance and were on a time and material basis. One was in the amount of over $25,000 to provide additional traffic control in the vicinity of the school. Initially, children were absent from school due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the East Side Elementary School was under construction. Along with fairly wide roadway and limited proposed improvements, it was anticipated that simple traffic devices such as cones and signage would be sufficient in this section. However, as children started to return for part-time in-person instruction, the decision was made that additional traffic control in the form of flaggers would be essential to to provide necessary level of safety and would be paid for on a time and material basis. The other change order represented a total of a little over $5,000, was processed to account for a large stump removal at the intersection of 6th and 8th Street. And that was discovered when they were installing drainage utilities. It was unexpected, and again, that had to be removed on a time and material basis. In all, the change orders, the amount over the contract is $34,174.54, an overage of 1.2%. If it pleases the council, staff is requesting you approve the change order to the construction contract with Knife River Materials in the amount of $34,174.54 for the East Side Safe Routes to School project, bringing the total construction contract amount to $2,959,912.54.
So, Scott, I'm assuming this is why you're here? Okay, so we'll hear from you first.
Thank you. My name's Scott Frazier. I live in Eastside, and I wanted to come and express my appreciation for the Safe Routes to School Street and sidewalk improvements on 6th and D. It feels much safer to walk on these streets. Leaps and bounds from the gravel shoulder that lined the main street previously. My wife and I use it a lot, and we cross the street quite a bit with that new crosswalk that they've put in, and I think it makes the drivers a lot more aware when people are trying to cross, and much safer. Even the retaining walls have been painted to blend in with the surrounding landscape. Yes, there were some delays and detours during the construction process, but all in all, Knife River did their best to allow traffic to keep moving with a safe and steady flow. These improvements not only make our part of Coos Bay safer, it also is more aesthetically pleasing. Thanks to Rex Miller for the plants and trees that lined the Mill Counts corridor that were, and thank you to the city and state tax dollars that were spent on this project. I also want to mention that the improvements to 2nd Avenue and A Street, also 1st Avenue, that have been done recently and funded by the city's transportation fee, with widening A Street and improving the adjacent corners, has greatly improved the safety of school bus and auto vehicle use. That's what I came here to say. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
It's a great improvement, and I'm sure all the neighbors really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your comments.
Thank you, we appreciate that. I was over there today, and I know there's still work to be done on First, is that right?
Correct.
That's kind of a first layer, if I understand correctly, and the water board's got to put a line in, and then the second layer will get put on, and it'll look nice and clean once they're done.
Correct.
So we know, and I didn't realize that, was it F, is it F? A block over from the coach house, that's been all pulled up and they're putting a new road in.
I think that's E Street.
E
That
Street.
street could be right next to the coach house, E Street,
Yeah.
one block.
E Street, I saw that they were grinding, pulled all that out, and I thought that's good, that's another great improvement right there, so. Thank you for your comments. Council, any comments, questions?
So I have a question. It says the money for this is coming out of the jurisdictional exchange fund. That's the one that we get the interest off of. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how much is in there?
There's a little over $300,000 in that account.
And that's one of the streets that was designated to be part of that fund, is that right?
Correct.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
That was a question that I had as well.
Me as well, yeah.
Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve a change order to the construction contract with Knife River Materials in the amount of $34,174.54 for the East Side Safe Routes to School project, bringing the total construction contract amount to $2,959,912.54.
Second.
We've had a motion and a second to approve the change order for the safe routes to schools. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Next item is the amendment for the Inglewood School Brownfield project, and that's Jim?
Yes, sir. The Inglewood School Brownfield project has completed 60% design. It's completed the environmental cross-cutters, or it's been reviewed by the environmental agencies, and the public review period of that environmental review has been completed. The Dyer Partnership is preparing plans and specifications for construction and it is our intent to bid this project this late this summer. Because the project site is greater than an acre, DEQ requires an NPDES 1200C permit. This is essentially a grading and water quality permit that the state requires. This is a construction permit that, it says here what. Anyway, the project is being funded by the sponsorship option dollars and a loan from the DEQ State Revolving Fund Program. The scope of work for the development of the 1200C permit application is eligible for reimbursement under this loan and has been approved by our project's DEQ program manager. The Dyer Partnership can prepare the 1200C for the city and has provided an amendment to the council's consideration of $3,700. This amendment would increase the total contract amount with Dyer to $110,500. If it pleases the council, approve an amendment for the Inglewood School Brownfield project for the amount of $3,700, which would bring the total contract amount to $110,500.
Any questions, council? What's your pleasure?
Actually, how big is the lot? It says it's bigger than an acre. Is it just barely bigger than an acre?
Yeah, I think it's closer to 2 acres.
Okay,
That's my recollection.
that's my only question.
Anyone else?
Move that we approve an amendment for the Inglewood School Brownfield project for an amount of $3,700, which would bring the total contract amount to $110,500.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to approve the amendment for the Inglewood School Brownfield project. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, consideration to rebrand the wastewater division to the water quality division. Is that Roger? Nicole?
I'm actually going to take this.
Nicole, okay.
Having just done the budget, this kind of came up and made sense for me to talk about this. So, as you all know, we've spent the last several months of this fiscal year discussing our options with the operations and maintenance of the wastewater system. And council made that decision in January to bring that back in-house. At that point, we put a consultant on staff with us to work with our staff to develop a transition plan, which we've been working on. You've had a little bit of feedback over the last several months, the progress that's being made there. And one of the suggestions with that group was that we rebrand the wastewater division as a water quality division. It kind of refreshes that a bit and gives us an opportunity to go forward, go bold forward with this positive momentum. So the resolution that you have before you, just right now we're talking about rebranding, renaming the 3 wastewater funds so that they will be water quality. We're kind of attacking these renaming as we come across. So we have some staff positions that we've renamed, reworked some job descriptions, that sorts of things. But today before you, we just have the resolution for the renaming of the funds.
Any questions, comments?
That'll probably help delineate in the books when the change was made and what happened thereafter too, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of have a nice, almost fiscal year cut over too, but yes, it will make an easier tracking there.
Seems like a more appropriate name for that division.
I believe so. Our city engineer, I believe, she has suggested that that's an industry kind of standard.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of always called it wastewater. So we're catching up, I guess, with
All right.
what others might refer to it as.
Okay.
And that is our goal, water quality.
Yep,
Yes, exactly.
makes sense to me.
Council?
I move we adopt Resolution 21-17, which rebrands the wastewater division to the Water Quality Division, including the renaming of the 3 city funds, Wastewater Fund 3, Wastewater SDC Fund 20, and Wastewater Improvement Fund 29.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt Resolution 2117, rebranding the wastewater division to the Water Quality Division. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item, item 11, is an adoption of Resolution 2118, amending the 2020-2021 budget. Nicole?
That's me again, yes. So within the consent calendar tonight, there was a library ESO grant. So part of this resolution is to give them the ability to appropriate those funds. I think they have plans for them over the summertime. And then the second part of this is through the general fund, just appropriating earlier received CARES funds that we waited till the end of the year to kind of see what spending we might need a little bit extra in line items. So if you have any questions on those areas?
Anybody have questions about this item? Council?
I move we adopt Resolution 21-18 to approve an appropriation of unforeseen funds at the time of the originally adopted budget.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve, or to adopt Resolution 21-18. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, the motion carries.
Thank you.
And the last item, I guess I can lead the discussion, but I won't participate in the vote or the discussion. As most of you know, I am moving outside the city of Coos Bay the end of August. And so I've notified the mayor and the city manager that I will be vacating my seat with the last council meeting in August. And you have before you a number of options, and I'll let city manager take it from there.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't start out by saying how much you will be missed and how much I appreciate the support and guidance that you've provided me while you've been on this council. With that being said, filling a vacancy, we go back to the city charter because the charter lines out what the qualifications are of those who must serve, what creates a vacancy, and then filling vacancies. While it has some language in there, it does not provide you a prescriptive process on how to fill a vacancy. What it does say is that vacancies in elected offices of the city shall be filled by appointment by the majority of the entire membership of the council. What we've done, because there's a history of vacancies over the years, that's just a natural thing that occurs, we provided a history on how those vacancies have been filled in the past. And basically, there are basically 4 different methods which have been used in the past. Most commonly, the council chooses to use a process whereby the position or the opening is announced. You request applications or letters of interest. You interview, the council interviews those people, and at the appointed time, then the council votes and chooses by a majority to fill the remaining term. Another option that has been used in the past is to use the most recent election In this case, the next person on the list would be Jim Kingsley, who received the 4th highest votes in the election. The council could, without holding a process or without using the former election, could just appoint a new councilor through a majority vote. That's occurred on one occasion in the last 30-some years. And lastly, you could leave the position vacant until the next general election, which would not be until November 22. I will say that's happened once as well. So with that, we'll leave it up to you to tell us what process you would like to use. If you choose to use the application process, we have put together for your consideration a possible timeline of going out for noticing those applications on or about July 2nd, taking applications until July 30th, holding interviews on the 17th, asking the council to consider appointing someone on the 17th, and then that person would take office the first meeting after council president's vacancy, and that would be September 7th.
And just for informational purposes, my term runs with Councilor Matthews and Miles. That's through November 2022.
Well, I prefer the option number one, accept some letters of or applications, and then interview and vote on who we want to fill the seat.
I agree with Councilor Miles. I think, time has passed since the last election. I think it's important that we have, interest, and I think that that's a good process to use, the application process.
I'd agree with that. I don't like leaving it vacant. I don't like just appointing somebody. So taking application seems to have been done the most in the past. I'd like to do that again.
I agree.
So it appears there is consensus. This is not a matter that we need to vote on, and I would share that in speaking with the mayor that he concurs with your line of thought. So we'll move forward with option number one.
And I hope that gives you enough time before I step down to carefully consider who you want to fill that term. Another thing that I'd like to bring up, as long as we're talking about this, is that I currently serve on the Coos Bay Bond Oversight, the school's Bond Oversight Committee, as a representative from the City Council. We haven't been meeting a whole lot lately because of the pandemic, but we met recently for the first time in quite a few months. But anyway, I've notified them that I would be requesting the council to appoint someone else to take my place on that committee. It's a group of people that basically serve to offer advice to the superintendent and to help him in overseeing that $72 million now being spent on the school system, on all the schools, the buildings and the remodeling and that kind of thing. So I'll kind of leave that open for you guys to discuss who wants to be a part of that.
If I might suggest, we can put that on the agenda, because I believe the next meeting will have Councilor DeNovo and the mayor in attendance.
Perfect.
And we can set that on the agenda for council consideration.
Okay. And with that, I think it's time for the city manager's report.
Thank you. You know, it wouldn't seem right without starting out with, even though we've done so, thanking Chief McCullough for his service to the city and welcoming Chief Chapinar. I would also like to thank Captains Lindahl and Schaefer. You know, I merely made a statement about 3 weeks ago, wouldn't it be nice to do a change of command? And literally within 3 hours, I had an itinerary and a script on my desk. And obviously, they did an outstanding job putting that together.
They did.
As an update on some projects, the LED light conversion, They are finished with most of the lights. They are now working on the period lighting or the Colbert lighting, and we expect that to be finished on time in August. So things are progressing very nicely. I think it slows down about now because those lights are a little harder to work with. If you've driven on 101, you'll see that there are at least some new light poles and some lights, although they're not quite in use yet, but they should be before the next time the council meets. So nice improvement. We are now just 3 weeks away from taking over Clean Water Division. Did I have that right?
Water quality.
Water Quality Division. See, it'll take me some time. And things are progressing nicely. At our last meeting, I shared with you that we have nearly all the positions filled, and I'm happy to report that we have all of the positions filled. And, you know, I don't take that lightly because we keep hearing from other businesses and other governments that they're having a difficult time filling positions. So I'm thankful to our staff who did a tremendous amount of work and networking trying to find us qualified people. I'm pleased with the staff they've assembled, and I'm certainly believe that Mr. Hosley will be happy to stop doing interviews.
Got it down now.
Next week at the work session, we'll be able to introduce you to our new superintendent, and we'll also take that opportunity to introduce you to the person that has been chosen to fill Randy Dixon's vacated position. I wanted to make sure that, although there's been a lot of announcements on this, our community's first Juneteenth event is occurring this weekend at the Coos History Museum. At 10 o'clock, they'll do the unveiling of the Equal Justice Initiative marker. It's going to be a great event, and this will be that inaugural event, and we'll see this for years to come. And I believe probably I saved the best for last. Our family was able to welcome a new member of our family. Layla Gale was born on Saturday, and she's my third granddaughter.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
And I know that's not really city related, but it is part of the family.
Proud grandpa.
I am.
understand how that works. Counselor Miles, council comments.
I just want to also thank Chief McCullough for his service and congratulate him on his retirement, and also welcome Chief Chapinar and congratulate him on his promotion. And since I will be out of town on Monday, I want to prematurely welcome the new officer, Ryan Scoville. Ryan's been a friend of our family for many, many years, and he's a great kid, and I think he'll make a great police officer. And lastly, I want to thank Michael Booth for his service. That's a lot of volunteer hours to put in, and like Council President Marler said, it was probably a thankless job, so thank you to him. And that's all I have.
Okay.
Stephanie?
I also want to congratulate both Chief McCullough and now Chief Chapinar. Clearly a lot of love and respect within our department, our police department, and not only our department, but all of the other departments that were in attendance tonight. I've had the pleasure with my job, having been in the broadcast news business for over 30 years, of working with our department and others. And I can tell you that they are tremendous people, and they have the best interest of this community in mind. And I am so happy to be working with you in the future from a professional standpoint, but also just a lot of respect from this counselor position as well. I do want to say how much I'm going to miss Counselor Marler when he leaves. I really was going to have a shirt printed up that said, "What would Phil say?" So whoever takes that position is going to have to be named Phil, or at least Mr. P. And anyway, we'll miss your guidance as well on this council, and look forward to seeing who will take your place. And then I will be attending the unveiling ceremony on Saturday, and I hope that the community is able to join. That is an online event, I believe. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Carmen?
I want to join in the praise of our two honored police chiefs tonight. We have had exceptional leadership, and I expect the same from Chief Chapinar, and I am honestly just, I feel like the whole city is just blessed to have you here, and we're ready to work with you, and I'm really proud to see you rise to that rank. So thank you for all your service, and thank you, Chief McCullough, for all your years of service as well. I was honored to be a part of that celebration. So thank you for everybody who helped put that on. That was moving, and it was just a really great thing to be a part of, and I do feel honored to be a part of it. Other than that, I think I'm pretty good. I'm going to miss Phil too, but I'm sure we won't lose contact with you. You'll still be providing us a little bit of wisdom here and there. So look forward to everybody in their new changing positions. Hopefully a bright future for all involved.
Thank you. Drew?
I want to congratulate Chief Chapinar on his new position. You can look forward to Roger stealing his desk from time to time, I'm sure, as Gary noted. Congratulate Gary on his retirement. Let's see, I can't help myself. Counselor Marlar's going to leave big shoes to fill.
In more ways than one, right?
Took a minute, but we got there. It was that bad a joke. And then last thing, I talked at a couple different meetings about how I was drafting something to send up north about mental health in the state. I sent that on Monday up to our House representative, state senator for our region, and then the folks that also cover Curry County, and a couple other folks at the state legislature. So hoping to hear something back about the condition of access to mental health in the state. Folks might not have seen, but around the 3rd of June, an article came out that 30 members of the National Guard have been sent to help staff the state hospital because of the condition it's in. So it's a continual situation that I think everybody should have eyes on in the state. So that's my cheery ending.
I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, congratulations to Chief Chapinar. I was thinking today, I was trying to think back on the first time we met, and it was appraisal related, I'm sure. And you were still doing construction work, I'm sure of that too. That was a long time ago, right? Yeah. And congratulations on Chief McCullough and his retirement. Well deserved, and he'll be missed. Thank you for all the kind words. It's been a real pleasure and an honor to serve on this council, but you're not rid of me yet. I still got a few more meetings. So, and don't be surprised if you look up and see my mug on that screen one of these nights when you sit down for your meeting, just so that I can harass you about something. So don't be counting on me being gone for good. I'll be showing up and offering my 2 cents every now and then.
We were just kidding. No.
And with that, I think the council, we don't have an urban renewal agency meeting. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Good job, Phil.
Cool.
Another
Wow.
45.
How about
Set
that?
record.
44 minutes.